Hey guys, I thought I would do, as you can tell I'm out here camping, so I thought I would go ahead and do a walk around video for everything I've got done so far to my overland build Tacoma, I guess you'd call it, I don't know. So I thought, yeah, I was bored, so I thought it would give me something to do. Let me get y'all sit on the tripod. This is going to be kind of difficult to, film and back and forth because I'm the only one here, so I have to be talking and working the camera at the same time. So let me get the tripod and give me 1 second. Well, I guess it's a 06 Toyota Tacoma, 4-door, TRD Sport. I've had it for probably about 4.5, 5 years now, I guess. And I started building it actually to make a show truck because I wanted something nice, and I've never had something fancy like that, so I figured I would turn this into that. And then the more money and time and everything I started doing, because I've done all the work myself, everything myself, I started realizing, it's crazy to build something and not be able to use it. So, yeah, I mean, this is kind of what it's turned into. Basically, it's just been about a 5-6 year build so far, and this is what I've come to now, which, there's still a lot of stuff I would like to change. Just different stuff that's come out on the market now and everything else. So we'll just start like at the top here in the front and work our way down, and then work our way towards the back. Up top I have that roof rack. It was actually just used. It was a buddy of mine, not even sure what name it is. So we made brackets a few weeks ago, and I decided to put it up there until I can either decide if I like it or whatever. I've actually had my eye on a Prenzu slimline one, so I'm not really sure if I'm going to do that or leave it on there or take it off. I'm not really sure yet. Stepping down from that, I've got a 50-inch rigid Radiance light bar. I went with the Radiance because, again, I was going to build a kind of a show thing, and I liked the backlight in it. And honestly, it's the brightest light I've ever had. That thing is ridiculously bright. Coming down, I've got a Safari Snorkel over there. That one, I actually put that on this truck. One of the first things I done was actually before they built them for Tacomas. That was actually one for a Helix, however you say that, Toyota, which, as you can tell, the body line, I mean, it works the exact same. I really do like that thing. I think it gives I've never been in water that deep, especially with my truck being so tall, but it just looks cool, basically. Then I got 2 of the rigid Radiance pods. These little things right here in the hood, which I don't know if the camera's showing them up or not, that's the first thing I ever done to the truck, because everybody knows on these sports, the hood cowl is basically fake. So I took and cut it out and put me some LED bars in there, which was kind of dumb, which I'd done it a long time ago, which I'll probably take it out and actually put a normal working spotlight in there. This bumper actually is All-Pro Off-Road's tube winch bumper, I guess what it's called. It's made for a 95 to 04 model Toyota Tacoma, and I used to have a 98 model, and I sold it and actually traded it in when I bought this one, and I wouldn't let the bumper go with it. And the body line, it's the exact same width and everything, which I didn't expect. It's a little bit narrower on the sides here, but I mean, nothing that, I think it looks good. I like it. And they don't, this is the only bumper I've seen this style from All-Pro for this year model. So I built my own brackets and everything and mounted it to the truck. I got 2 more of the rigid Radiance pods. These right here are some of the Cree LED or something. I don't know. They're cheaper. But honestly, these things, even though they're starting to fade, I'm going to change them over to rigids. These things have never got water in them. They've never fogged up. I mean, anything. So there's been some dang good lights for the money. And then I got a 10,500 pound, I think this is a Tough Stuff winch, actually. I've had this thing from when I was like 16, so about 12 years ago. Never had a problem out of it, so there's no sense in changing it. When that one goes out, I'll probably put a warrant on it. But I mean, so far, I can't kill the thing. I mean, it's worked perfectly fine. I did yesterday change over to the 3/4 inch synthetic rope. I did have the 7/16 synthetic rope that came on this winch, so I went up to a little bit bigger. And of course, as y'all know, I'm sponsored by Factor 55. So I have their 1.5 inch, or there's 1.5 is what they call it. Let's see if it'll show up here. Haas fair lead, along with their ultra hook in, I get that, some kind of weird, not really gray, but not really blue either. I don't know. I like it. I like the color. It was either that or red, and I prefer the gray. Working down from that, I guess, be the lift kit. I've got a 9-inch suspension and a 3-inch body lift kit. And of course it's FabTech, which again, I went with this style of lift because I was planning on making a show truck. If I could have done something different for the amount of time and money I have in this lift, I would have probably straight axled it. But it's a little bit late now, so I can't really do that. I do have the Fox Racing reservoirs, coilovers, and the Icon Vehicle Dynamic Uniball uppers. Honestly, I mean, the thing rides smooth. I mean, really smooth. What I was talking about, some things that I'm going to probably change, is I'm going to stay with the Fox, but I'm probably going to go with the remote reservoir control dampening in the front, which I have in the rear, which I'll show you in a minute. But when I bought them, I was like, you know, it's a show truck. I'm never going to need to adjust them, so why fool with it? And now I wish I would have, because now I wouldn't have to buy them again. So that's honestly probably the next few things. It and some Fox hydraulic bump stocks is going to be the next thing. Motor, there's absolutely nothing done to the motor except for a throttle body spacer from I believe it was AirTech. I believe it was. I can't even remember. That was one of the first things I've done to the truck as well. It's been re-geared to 488 gears. It's got a ARB air locker in the front and a factory TRD off-road e-locker in the rear. I actually replaced that entire rear end out from under a 2012 model, and it's got a new e-locker in the rear, 488 gears. It goes dang good. Let me move around to the side and we'll check out there. And something I forgot to mention when I talked about this top light bar is I had these brackets made. I don't know if you can read that. Maybe. It says Fox. It's got the Fox emblem. And they bolt into the factory roof rack holes, so I didn't have to drill no holes or nothing in my roof. And the other thing that I forgot to mention was I have front lights, which y'all have seen a video of me installing them. One there, one under the back, under the front, and right here on the other side as well. And I forgot to mention that. Moving backwards, I've got, or on down a little bit I guess, I've got 17 by 9 fuel hostage wheels. Again, it was because I was going to make a show truck out of it, which I haven't had any problems out of them. I mean, a wheel's a wheel, but coating's not coming off or anything. If I ever do decide to change them, I'll probably go to beadlocks. But honestly, so far, I aired these tires down to 14 or 15. 15, I believe. The last time I went trail riding and didn't have any problem, out of them trying to pop off the bead or anything like that, which I know isn't down, extremely low, but it is considering these tires run 60-pound air. That's, a good bit less. I'm running 37 by 1350 17 Toyo Open Country mud terrains, which I love. I used to have a set of 40s actually on this truck, and I wanted more stance. So I went with 1.25 inch Spider Tracks wheel spacers, which a lot of people say don't get wheel spacers, they'll break or they'll come off, and they will if you buy some cheap stuff like off eBay or Amazon or something like that. Spider Tracks are hub symmetric aircraft aluminum. I mean, they're really good made. And honestly, I mean, I haven't jumped this thing 5 feet off the ground, but I have had all 4 tires off the ground and landed it, and not the first problem out of it. I love these Toyos, but I'm actually thinking about, when these are pretty close to being slick, I'm probably going to go with the new Maxxis Trepador, I think is how you pronounce it, the bias ply, in a 37 1350 17 as well, just because I love that sidewall and that grip. So I'm not really sure. I'm still doing some research on them because they're more of a new tire, and I don't want to buy something I'm going to get 5,000 miles out of. So yeah, I'm still trying to figure out on that. Moving back, I do have All Pro Off-Road's Apex rock sliders. It's kind of hard to see with me working the camera and talking here. Let's see. Does that show you anything? And it does have the kick out on the back. Yeah, I mean, again, never had a problem out of any of All Pro's. There we go, that's kind of better. Products. I mean, I love them. Basically, every bit of armor on this truck is from All Pro. I don't have skid plates under it yet, other than the factory ones. Sorry about that, my battery died. I had to swap batteries. So what I was saying is I don't have any like different skid plates under it yet. I've been looking at a few names like All Pro, Off-Road's got some. I think Camberg makes some. I ain't really sure what I want. I know I want aluminum. I want to save the weight. And I don't do a whole lot of rock crawling, mostly trail riding and overlanding and stuff like that. But I want to be able to be protected if I decided to take off of a trail. I guess moving back from the rock sliders, can't really see nothing here yet, so I guess I'll show you this. This is my, let's see if it'll show, there it is. Smitty built 8 foot by 6 foot awning. You see it sticks out, it's 8 foot down the truck and sticks out 6 foot. This is only the third time I've got to go camping with it, and so far, I mean, I love it. I mean, you see how sturdy it is, and I don't have it, you know, tied down or anything. It's just standing here. So far I'm very pleased with that. Suspension, I have the Fox 2.0, it'll show you here, with the controlled dampening. I actually, kind of see it there, I actually had to call Fox because I have such a, not necessarily like a gigantic lift. There's other Toyotas with, you know, bigger lifts, but this thing flexes so much, I had to call Fox and tell them how much droop I had and how much up travel I had, and they had to actually find me a shock that would work. So we ended up going with that one. It's got like 14.5 inches, I believe, of down travel, and I want to say it's 12 inches of up travel, I believe. Something like that. I can't remember. I've had them on there for a couple years now. I do also have, as you can see right there's the part number on it. Maybe it'll show up. Sorry also too for the truck running. That's what I was saying last night. Or not last night. I was saying a while ago I haven't put all my stuff back on it yet. So I still don't have my battery set up with my solar panel, which are not connected to the truck's alternator. So I'm having to run my power inverter to charge my camera batteries. But anyway, those are All Pro Off-Road's Expo Plus 4 rear leaf springs, which is kind of weird. As tall of a lift as I have those leaf springs and a 1-inch block, and that made the truck completely level, as tall as this thing is, which it was kind of weird how that worked out, but it did. So I got those, very pleased with them. It's supposed to be, they're good to 400 pounds over stock, which is, you know, I've got so much stuff done to this, of course, it's that, but it still doesn't sag. That's what's nice, and it's got a really smooth ride. If we come around on back here, I guess back up top again, and this one is my ARB. I can't really see a nameplate here. Maybe you can see that. I'm not really sure. Is that showing up? Maybe. Anyway, it's an ARB 4 foot by 6 foot awning, and so far, I mean, this is the same. Put them on at the same time, so I've used this one the same amount of times. I will say that I do believe the ARB has a little bit like nicer track right here and a little bit more, you know, fancier poles. Does that matter? Probably not. I don't know. Never owned one before. This is, you know, all this stuff is new to me as far as I've never owned them, you know, so far neither one of them's leaked water. I was in one rainstorm the very first time I used them. I was in a pretty good thunderstorm, which of course, you know, I took and tied them down, but I left them standing all night, sloped the corners, drug it down so the rain would run off. I didn't have any issues out of either one of them. So far I'm very pleased with them. Alright, I guess since we're back here, I'll go ahead and show one of the new things I just put in. I actually installed this last Sunday, I believe. It's a deck system. There you go. Which, you know, up here it's got its old little measuring tape, I guess, for measuring your fish or whatever. Just a whole bunch of little stuff, screw and bolt diameters, and your conversion, miles, foot, gallons, measuring tape for people who don't know how to read measuring tapes, fractions, all that kind of stuff. This one is kind of a mixture right now because I'm still trying to figure out how I'm going to do it. I just cooked breakfast, so I went ahead and threw my eggs and bread and stuff in there, but mostly this has got my axe, my shovel, the guide ropes for the awnings, and just more outdoorsy stuff on this side. And then over here, which there's my stove, but over here is more of my kitchen stuff, you know, propane bottles, everything. I still got to get some of them dividers to hold everything still, but it's more like kind of kitchen stuff. And I may end up flopping that around, I don't know. This is a little table I built, so I bolted this plate down, stuck a screw up through it, and it's right next to these ridges so it holds the bolt from spinning. Put a lock nut and a washer on it, and it just didn't tighten it completely down, but almost tight, so this still spins. So it normally sits in here like this, and I used the factory star bolts right here and tied down the strap that I made. Unbuckle it, swing the table out. Then I just took my little wing nut, welded it on a bolt head, so that way it sturdies against the tailgate. And then this foot, you loosen that knob, that foot goes up inside of it, you retighten the knob, and then the whole thing folds up inside here, up inside this track. And the whole thing folds right back on the tailgate. You clamp it down, and it literally takes up about that much room off the tailgate. So especially now with that deck system, it doesn't matter anyway. As you can see, I'm charging the other camera battery. But one thing too, if you get one of these deck systems, you know, the Toyota Tacomas have this power inverter right here. You have to get a real thin plug that plugs in it and allows the lid to stay almost closed. So kind of like a little short extension. Moving down here, as you can see, I have All Pro off-road again. This is their rear apex bumper for the 05 to 2015 Tacomas. And I have actually took where your tag plate is supposed to be normally mounted. I actually mounted a winch up and under my frame, which I'll have to do like a review or something on that later. I just don't want to lay down in the mud. But it's mounted from frame to frame. You can unbolt the winch or whatever, and I took and moved my tag over there and put me a winch here, which, as you can see, I took the front rope that I had on the front winch and put back here yesterday. And I know I still got this roller fair lead. I've got a house fair lead on order, but they're on back order, so I'm waiting on it to come in for back here and get rid of this roller fair lead now that I'm running synthetic rope. I went ahead and cut me in while I was doing this back then 2 backup lights. I'm going to transfer them over to the rigid flush mounts just because rigid's awesome and I want all rigid. Again, the rear does have the Toyota e-locker in it, which has helped a lot. Yeah, I mean, that's I guess that's about it for here. I do have like these little stringy bed light type things which look like crap, so I'm going to take them down. Maybe let me zoom in here, maybe you can kind of see them like that. I stuck those up there with, you know, they come with a 3M tape on them when I was sleeping in the camper shell, and it just gave like a nightlight basically, so I could see when I got in the bed and see to be able to get dressed in the mornings. And so I'm gonna rip them down now and probably buy some of the little rigid, little square round, what do they call them, shooters I think, or something like that, and mount on the sides. My next thing is where I built these awning brackets, either back here or on that side. I'm going to mount my shovel and axe and get them out of that drawer. And more than likely, since this one's bigger, I'll leave my kitchen stuff in here, and I'll put all my towing and recovery gear and, you know, just like guide ropes and stuff like that, more little outdoor stuff on that side, so I don't have to get it mixed up with my cooking stuff. My newest addition that I actually put in the same day as I did the deck system is I finally got me a rooftop tent. Finally. It's took me like, well, about 6 years. I've always wanted one of these things, and I just couldn't, for one, never could afford it, and two, I just couldn't see ever justifying spending, you know, $2,000, $2,500 on a tent. So that's why I tried to make the camper shell work, and I gave up on that. That was annoying. Too much. It was a lot of setup, You kept getting wet. It wasn't working. So here's the inside of the tent. Me and Comer, or actually Comer, you see the mud. He got it dirty as crap. That's why I folded this in half. Here's your little mattress that comes with it, which is actually pretty comfy. But I come back and put some of this gel memory foam, and I folded it in half, slept on top of it, put my sleeping bag on top, and let Tacoma sleep right here, just so he wouldn't get his dog hair and his muddy paw prints all over my bed. But that ain't gonna work, because he's got this place, well, that shows up better. I mean, mud everywhere. So I'm probably, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I may end up making me half a bed, and I may buy like a rubber mat that stretches the whole way for him to sleep. That way I can pull it out, wash it, or I don't know. I just don't like making him sleep outside. When I have a bed, there's no reason to make your dog sleep outside. So he goes everywhere with me. He sits in the front seat. So I don't want to make him sleep outside. On the inside, really don't have a whole lot done. I'm more into keeping it a clean look. I'm probably going to do away with these switches and buy one of the ARB links control system, kind of like an S-Pod or something. But y'all don't make fun of the truck because it's nasty. You can tell it's dirty as crap. But I got the WeatherTech floor mats. I did buy, all the factory switches. That way everything plugs in. There's my rear locker, my air compressors under the hood, and my front locker. I do got one of them radios, a CB, my little mount there for being able to talk to y'all. This little flashlight right here, which I've had since I bought the truck, as you can tell how nasty my truck is. It needs cleaned. But this is well, I don't know if it's going to show up. Is it going to show up? It's a Streamlight. Trian, whatever the word that says. Little rechargeable flashlight, and you're talking about bright. Dang, that thing's bright. I've used the crap out of it. And other than, I actually didn't even buy these. When my dad bought his Jeep, these were on it. They're Smitty built seat covers, which are all right. But see how, because this is my daily driver right now. See how there's like a brown ring, and all this is clean. That's from my, my work shirt being dirty. So I don't like how they didn't just make it cover up the whole seat. And especially down here, they left it like that, and right here the same way. I don't understand that. Why didn't they just make that square? I don't get that. But for what they are, they're fine. Kind of can't see nothing back here because my cooler and stuff's in here, which I'm hoping within the next couple months to not have to use a cooler anymore. I'm probably going to take this seat out and that seat out, and I want one of those ARB fridges for here. So that's probably going to be the next thing. They do have the pockets on stuff on the back, which I use some. There's my med kit, and that's pretty much it. So alright, well, I hope y'all enjoyed this walk around. I'm hoping one day I'll be able to do a more in-depth thing on it, which I kind of went over most of it. Maybe one day it'll be easier having somebody film for me. Alright, well, I appreciate y'all watching Miller's TV, and don't forget to subscribe, like, share, comment, do all that stuff. Go check me out on Instagram, which is Tacoma1990. And yeah, so until next time, y'all have a good one.